Hey guys, Simon here and welcome to the 2019 PlayStation room tour video. This vid is so overdue. Heaps of you guys have been asking for it. Unfortunately, I didn't get an updated room tour out in 2018. Unfortunately, that year was just super busy for myself and my wife. We purchased our new home and we spent the year setting it up and making improvements. And it took quite a long time for me to get the game room to a point where I was happy with it. But to tell you all the truth, I'm kind of thinking about tearing it all down again and rearranging it to make it more accessible, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So for now, let's go on a tour of the current setup. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get started. Okay, let's kick this tour off. Just here next to the entryway, we have a framed medieval picture that I picked up from a website called Society6. And I've been looking for some medieval related artwork for ages now. So I was pretty stoked when I came across this picture because medieval was just one of those favourite childhood games of mine. I sunk hours upon hours into that game and I'd really just wanted to display some artwork related to it in the game room, and I really enjoy how this picture looks. As you can see, you've got Sir Dan standing in the middle of Fortescue Graveyard, zombies rising up around him. It just looks great. I certainly cannot wait for the PS4 remake. Underneath that we have the PS1 display cabinet. Now not that much has changed inside here since the 2017 tour, but that doesn't matter, we're still going to check it out anyway. So up the top is the SCPH-5903, or as what is commonly known as the Video CD PS1. Now this was a system that was only released in the Asia-Pacific regions, mainly China. It can be a little bit of a tricky console to find. Its main variations are that it is white in colour and it has the ability to play video CDs, as noted by the orange print on the top right of the system. So it's a rather strange variation of PS1, but still pretty cool. This next system is my grail of the entire collection. It is a 10 million model PS1. These were released by Sony to help celebrate 10 million PS1 consoles sold worldwide. They were midnight blue in colour, and you could only obtain these systems by winning various competitions in which only 300 were given away. So there are not many of these systems in existence. Just in front of that are two variations of 10 million model DualShock. One is midnight blue in colour that matches the system, and the other one is in a matte grey. I'd say that the matte grey one is my favourite, just because the texture reminds me a lot of the Net Yaruzi. Speaking of the Net Yaruzi, is the next system we're going to take a look at, and this was an awesome variation of PS1. It was matte black in colour and was aimed at programming hobbyists, because these units could be attached to a PC with software tools that you could purchase, and you could essentially program and create your own PS1 games. I still remember picking up copies of the official Australian PlayStation magazine, and on the demo discs there would be promo videos for the Net Yaruzi and games that people had made. It was really freaking cool to see at the time. Then just in front of that we have a selection of PS1 memory cards, with my favourite being the Citric Yellow. I just love that colour. And then we have two variations of Pocket Station. One is in white and the other one is in clear. These are basically interactive memory cards that only released in Japan. And our last two systems inside the PS1 cabinet are blue and green debug units. Now, these units were used by developers when testing games. They could both play CDRs and both systems ran different RAM types. There's a lot of interesting little tidbits that separate these two consoles. but the blue unit runs SG RAM with the green unit running VRAM. Then in front of these two systems are a couple of variations of DualShock. So first up we have a transparent blue and clear, and then on the bottom shelf we have a transparent green and red. I really love transparent colours, especially when it comes to controllers. It's just so 1990s. Swinging the camera to the right, we have a PS3 Slim kiosk unit. I picked this up a few years back in 2014 from a local Harvey Norman electronics store, as they were just going to throw it out to make room for a newer PS4 kiosk. It was pretty grubby, needed a ton of cleaning, but everything was still functional. Its only downside is that it takes up a ton of room, and I have kind of been thinking about moving it out to the garage or selling it so I can put in more shelving to get ready for the PS5. But it's still a pretty cool piece to have, and it's normally the first thing people comment on when they come into the game room. And situated behind the kiosk, just up on the wall, is an acrylic PlayStation sign. Now, this is from a company called Rose Colored Gaming. I'll leave the link to their website in the description below. They make heaps of great video game related stuff, like signs for Nintendo, Sony, Sega. They also have controller stands, console stands, cart stands, you name it, it's all there, and their stuff is really, really good quality. I highly recommend them. Just up here on the wall next to the kiosk is another framed picture from Society 6, and this one is of Horizon Zero Dawn. This is a great looking picture. You've got Aloy standing in an open field, Grazier's looking on with a tall neck that's slowly walking through the background, and there's a bit of a storm rolling in as well. Horizon was such an awesome game. I really enjoyed playing through that one, and it makes me kind of wonder what Guerrilla Games are going to do with the series next. Just below that is the PlayStation 2 cabinet that houses a couple of different variations. So up the top is a PSX unit. This model is a DESR 7700, and the PSX was essentially a digital video recorder that had a built-in PS2. This system was only available in Japan, and it's a pretty cool system that you don't really hear too much about. Moving down is a PS2 test unit. This is essentially just a debugging station. And next to that is a metallic silver unit, and both of these systems have their corresponding controllers. Underneath that is an aqua blue and golden Gundam unit, with the Gundam unit being one of my favourites. This system comes with a really cool stand, but unfortunately it's not set up at the moment because it won't fit inside the display cabinet when you have two consoles on the same shelf. Then we have an ocean blue and ceramic white model. The ocean blue is another one of my favourites. I love the look of that transparent case. And last up on the bottom are a selection of PS2 Slims. So these are crimson red, ceramic white, metallic silver, and hot pink. The PS2 is a really good system to collect for. There are heaps of different variations you can find, especially when you start looking at the Japanese variants. I do own a couple of Japanese variants, but at this time they're not set up and they're still packed up in the cupboard. Moving the camera across, and here we have a new addition to the game room. It's the PlayStation 3 cabinet. There are so many different variants of PS3 available, but I've decided to focus on the original style. So just up the top is a metallic silver unit, and who remembers E3 2006, Sony's press conference, Kaz Hirai was up on stage holding one of these silver units. I remember watching that entire show and just being so hyped up for the launch of the PS3. Below that is the ceramic white model with the God of War Ascension and Crimson Red DualShock 3s. Then just below that we have a test unit PS3, and this actual system was the property of Codemasters. I find it interesting to think about the history behind these test units and what games they might have been used on during game development. For all I know, maybe this unit was used to help create MotorStorm. It would be pretty cool if it was. In front of the test unit is a 6-axis controller. So this was the controller that originally launched with the PlayStation 3, and it contained no DualShock function, just the 6-axis motion controls. Pretty cool, that one. Then next to him is a smoke grey DS3. This is one of my favourites. It's transparent and I just love the look of it. Underneath is the Metal Gear Solid 4 unit with the urban camo and pink DS3s. And on the bottom shelf is my favourite variant of OG PS3. It's the Yakuza 3 model. This unit looks awesome. It's ceramic white in colour and has dragon print on both sides of the top plate in great looking detail. Then just in front of that is its corresponding controller, along with a azure blue DS3. Taking a look at the TV and console setup next, with all of my gaming being done on a Sony KDX 8500D 55-inch 4K smart TV. So far it's been a great unit and works really well with my PS4 Pro, outputting the games in native 4K, checkerboard 4K, and making great use of HDR with the games that support it. I find HDR to be such a great feature, as the lighting effects in certain games just look amazing. To the right of the TV is a Nathan Drake Uncharted 3 Collector's Edition statue, and in front of him is my launch model PS Vita and PSP 3000. Both of these systems have stands from Rose Colored Gaming, which are specifically made for each system. Next to those is a DS4 charging station to help keep those DualShock 4s at full charge, along with a PlayStation Icon LED light, which can run on battery power or USB power. Then off to the left are two more handhelds. These are a PSP Go and silver PSP 3000, again both on stands from Rose Colored Gaming, with the Sackboy controller holder standing holding a DualShock 3 just behind. As for my current console setup, I have a PS4 Pro, PS3 Slim and a PS2 Slim. I don't have an original PS1 setup, as the PS3 and PS2 are both backwards compatible with PS1 games. And then swinging to the right of the console setup are my PS Vita and PSP games. I don't have too many, as I'm just not really interested in handheld gaming. I'm more of a sit down and play a game on a big screen kind of person. And then swinging to the left are my PS4 games. These are 2 rows deep with about 120 games in total. I'm not actively collecting PS4 games as of yet, I'm only buying games to play, and there have been so many great games this generation, with some of my favourites being God of War, Wipeout Omega Collection, Horizon Zero Dawn, not to mention some great Xbox exclusives. And yes, I've got an Xbox, it's just out in the lounge room. I love me some Gears of War and Halo Master Chief Collection. But what about seating and keeping comfy during long gaming sessions? Well, I use the X-Rocker Infinity 4.1 surround sound PlayStation chair. It's a rather comfy chair and has speakers in the headrest and in the base, a sub in the backrest, and it has rumble functions, and it can be used with a PS3, PS Vita and PS4. Not to mention it has a pretty great looking PlayStation logo on the headrest and has the triangle, circle, X and square icons on the base as well. And before I forget, I just have some new additions to the game room as well. Up here on the wall are some canvas prints of my favourite childhood games. These are Alien Trilogy and Space Hulk, 2 games I played heaps with my late grandfather of a summer holiday. You all know how crazy I am about Nightmare Creatures, that one definitely had to be up here. Then in the middle is a foam prop replica of Kratos' Leviathan axe. Next to that is Medieval, such a classic game. Then we have Hexen. It's not one of the best running games on the PS1, but damn, I sunk some hours into this one as a kid. And last up is Resident Evil Director's Cut. I got this one along with Medieval for Christmas of 1997. Such a great memory. Moving down from the canvas prints is the first of the PS4 cabinets. And what a great generation it's been. The PS4 has shaped up to be one of my favourite systems of all time, with just stacks of great exclusives. Up the top of this cabinet is the Uncharted 4 limited edition console. I love the look of the warm blue colouring with the print of Nathan Drake on the top plate, with the Sig Parvis Magna and Uncharted lettering printed in a gold font. It really helps set off the console's colour scheme. Then we have my favourite variant of PS4. It's the 20th anniversary edition, modelled after the iconic PS1 to help celebrate 20 years of PlayStation. This unit is numbered 7147 of 12,300. I've also got a boxed 20th anniversary DualShock 4 and headset alongside the system as well. Next is the Taco Bell PS4. This system is gold in colour and could only be obtained via competition at participating Taco Bell outlets in the United States, in which only 6,500 systems were given away. So there's definitely not many of these systems floating around. In front of that is its corresponding DualShock 4 and a Model 1 DS4 in red. Underneath is the limited edition Metal Gear Solid 5 console with the famous typo on the faceplate, along with its Diamond Dogs silver DualShock 4 and then a separate blue DS4. And last up is the Batman Arkham Knight console that supports a striking silver colour with a shaded outline of Batman on the top plate. Arkham Knight was the first Batman game I played in the series, and I really enjoyed it. Just gliding around Arkham City and driving in the Batmobile was great fun. And then just in front of that, we have the system's corresponding silver controller and my original launch model DS4 that I decided to retire due to the thumbsticks wearing out. And I thought it would be cool to keep in the cabinet as a little memento. But the PlayStation 4, what a great generation it's been. It's hard to believe that this system has been out for 7 years already. To the right of the PS4 cabinet, we have one of the bigger changes to the room. Back in the 2017 tour, I had 3 individual shelving units that housed PS1, 2, and 3 games. For this room, I've decided to place those games onto one single shelving unit, which will help me save space and also allow me to display more, and help with easier access. But I still need to organise this unit, as there are a few doubles and I would like to remove the games that I don't play and swap them out with titles that I will play. And then up the top, I have my good old acrylic PlayStation sign. This one's been in a few room tours now, along with a PS1, 2, and 3. And I wanted to place these systems up here, as they represent the games and generations that are on display in this shelving unit. Now, one thing I've always wanted in a game room is somewhere to display my various collector's editions and statues. So I've gone out and I've purchased a cube shelving unit so I can finally have these items out and not stored away in the cupboard. At the top is a large life-sized Kratos bust. It's kind of intimidating, but I think it would make a good PSVR stand. Behind him is a framed God of War 3 poster with a boxed NECA Kratos figure, God of War Ascension Collector's Edition statue, and a little Big Planet Kratos Sackboy. Moving down the display unit is a Killzone 3 Helgen helmet and The Last of Us Collector's Edition statue. Killzone 3 was such an underrated game that has an awesome co-op mode. Check it out if you haven't played it before. Then underneath that we have the 2018 God of War Collector's Edition statue. This one would have to be one of my favourites, as the detail on this piece is amazing. Next to this is an Uncharted 4 Nathan Drake statue with another NECA boxed figure, but this time it's of Nathan Drake. A little bit of love for Horizon Zero Dawn now with the Aloy Collector's Edition statue. This one looks great. Aloy's just standing there on top of a downed Watcher. It looks really, really good. Then next to her is a Helgen Hazmat Trooper by 3A. This figure is pretty cool. It's one of my favourites, as it can strike various poses, has extremely detailed armour, and has LEDs for the eyes to imitate the trademark Helgen helmet. It looks awesome. And in the final 2 cubes, we have a Last Guardian statue. I found the Last Guardian to be such a relaxing experience, and it was actually the first time I had seen HDR utilised in a PS4 game. And then we have the newest addition to the statue shelf. It's a Days Gone Collector's Edition piece. Days Gone was a great game. Yeah, it had some bugs, but I found the core experience to be really enjoyable. And nothing has struck more fear into me while playing a video game than coming across my first Freaker Horde. Horde battles are intense. The game is seriously so much fun. Check it out if you haven't played it yet. Now there is one more new display case to take a look at, and this one contains more PS4s. But this time, it's a few of the slim variations. First, just up the top, is another Horizon Zero Dawn Collector's Edition piece. This is a Thunderjaw. I'd have to say, hunting Thunderjaws is one of my favourite pastimes while playing Horizon. But this certainly is a great looking statue, with heaps of detail, and it's quite large for a Collector's Edition piece. Then moving down, we have the Gran Turismo Sport PS4 Slim with its silver DS4 that has the GT logo printed on the touchpad. And alongside that is one of my favourite DualShock 4s. This is the Sunset Orange variant. This controller is bright and really stands out. I love the colour scheme of this one. Then next up is the Final Fantasy 15 PS4. Another great looking system that has stacks of awesome detail on the faceplate, along with its matching controller with the number 15 printed on the right palm grip. And then we have a red crystal DS4. I love that transparent case. The crystal range of DS4s look amazing. It's just such a 90s and early 2000s throwback. It would be great to see a few more variants made. And on the last 2 shelves, I've set up the first edition Days of Play consoles from 2017, with the first one being golden in colour, along with its matching controller, and then next to that is a crystal blue DS4. Then we have the silver variant Days of Play system with its matching controller, and a clear crystal DS4. That one is another personal favourite of mine. But as mentioned, a few more variants of crystal controllers would be great. I'd love to see one in citric yellow. And for the last section of the game room, it is my current storage situation and some more items I have up on the walls. For storage, it's much of the same as it was in the 2017 room tour, but with more items. Inside the cupboard are more variations of PS4s, PS2s and 3s, more games, controllers and other peripherals, collector's editions, and various bits of PlayStation memorabilia. There is a heap of stuff in here, so I won't go into too much detail. But I'm currently working on another storage solution out in my garage so I can sort through these items and clear up some space. Just above the cupboard, I have my boxed DualShock 2 collection. I don't really go out of my way to track these down, I just pick them up whenever I come across them in the wild. The only variation that I would really like to get my hands on is the Smoke Grey DS2. Moving across, and we are back to the entryway of the game room. It's a little bare over here at the moment, but I'm thinking of having a poster framed and mounted on this section of wall to help fill it out, and have my Tatakus that are mounted above the door spread over onto this wall also. As for my Tataku collection, I don't have too many, as I only purchased the ones that are PlayStation branded, which you can tell by the official PlayStation markings / sticker that is on the packaging. I do this to help keep the collecting under control, but I'm really hoping they release more Wipeout ships soon, along with some more characters from God of War. That would be pretty cool. But as for the game room, that is the current setup. I have been thinking about rearranging some things, maybe wall mounting the TV, but as mentioned at the start of the video, I'm still undecided. Let me know what you guys think I could do in the comments section below. I'd love to get some feedback. Well, there we have it, guys. That was the updated PlayStation room tour for 2019 in the new house. Now, as mentioned, there's still a few things I would like to change. I think I would really like to wall mount the TV just behind me here, move the games and the display case next to it onto the far wall, and then vice versa. I will keep you guys up to date on that if I decide to go ahead with it. I might even make a few videos just documenting the whole process. That would be pretty sweet. Now, if anyone has any questions about any of the items they've seen in the game room, please drop a comment below. I would love to hear from you guys. But for now, I'm going to end the video here. So as always, thank you all very much for watching. Remember, keep that positivity flowing, and I'll see you next time with more PlayStation content.